We got a lot of fun for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Here on CoastLife, we are taking it to the cows, is what's really happening out here. We've got Mike Hopkins and we've got Stephanie Heslep. And Mike, you are in charge out here over at the Hopkins Farm Creamery.
Yep.
How do the cows play in? How does Stephanie come into everything that you guys have going on?
Yeah, so we want everyone to come and enjoy their ice cream here, but another one of our goals on the farm is really to spread awareness and knowledge about, the cows, agriculture, and really where your food comes from. So we think partnering with the Heslep's Coastal Cattle is a good way to give people the opportunity to really come and learn about the cows, learn about their day-to-day lives, and not only that, really what goes on throughout their whole entire life. So. Yeah.
So obviously it's a great thing to push for, like kind of making people understand really the food chain.
Yes.
When did that become something that was important to you? Has it always been? Is it something that at some point gained more importance?
Farming has been in my family. I believe I'm the 5th generation here now. It's something my family's very passionate about. We have been, and I really want to continue to, have cows here, spread knowledge about, agriculture and the cows and all that stuff for generations to come. So,
when did that become important to you? If you grow up in farming, day one, you're a little kid, this is just how you've grown up. When did you go, we need to do some things to help get the community involved?
Yeah, so everyone that comes and enjoys their ice cream here, they're always out here hanging out with the cows, and this is a perfect way to teach people, more about them. So
how did you get set up here with Stephanie?
So Stephanie is our manager at the farm, but this is also her cows here, so that's how that kind of works out.
All right, well, I think we're going to move over and talk to Stephanie here for a second, if you don't mind. Cool. I want to get a little bit more information on what's going on with these guys right here. That's Stephanie, who is behind me right here? Who is this? Getting all up in the story here.
She loves it. Yes, so this is PJ and PETA. They are mother-daughter. PETA is actually a retired dairy cow from here at Hopkins. Michael and I actually met back when I was the manager of the dairy before it closed. PETA had too much personality to see her go, and so I worked out a deal, and thus they're here now.
So how did this whole idea come about to try to get people a little bit more in tune with with nature, with the animals that are in the food chain, with what they mean? Where did that come from for you?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. We had PETA over at home in our pasture, and we live right next to the walking trail, the Lewis-Georgetown Trail, and it was very obvious to us after having her for a bit that it meant a lot to the community. People would actually thank us for having her, and they would stop where the tree break was and say hi to her all the time.
You get your speaking lines later, PJ.
And so it really surprised us and warmed our hearts that the community cared so much about the cows being around, and so we thought, what can we do to incorporate more of cows and agriculture, like Michael said, as a whole into the community.
And agriculture out here on Delmarva is such an important part of what's going on with our whole economic landscape, with the way things operate. How did you come to this?
So I went to school for veterinary technology, but I do not like to be inside for too long. I love being outdoors, and so when I was in college, I was able to take a rotation at a dairy. I fell in love and I never left, basically. That's where I met my husband. And so we started there, and then the way I ended up down here was basically I made a wrong turn. I kid you not. Talk about destiny. I made a wrong turn, and that's when I met Michael's father, and that's when I started working here. And I loved every single day of being on the dairy.
What do you think people can learn by just being around these cows a little bit, kind of getting a sense of their personalities, which they clearly have, and what it means to really interact with them? What have you seen with the people that maybe aren't involved in agriculture at all, but get a chance to then interact?
Yeah, great question. Actually, I was just speaking with the mother of a little girl from our event this past Saturday. She was a raffle winner, so she got to name one of our calves. And the mother was telling me that the daughter has been raving all week to her friends at school that she got to pet and bottle feed this calf and name her. And we told her she's now a part of our coastal cattle family since she got to do that. And so seeing something like that really is what confirms that we are very passionate about this.
Well, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with a little bit more. I want to learn about these cows specifically, and we're going to see if we can, get a couple more pets in as well. Stay with us here on CoastLife. CoastLife, we're having a great time outside on Delmarva. We've got some cow friends to hang out with and some human ones as well. We've got Stephanie Heslep here. And Stephanie, I want to learn more about your specific cows. Are their personalities different? Do you have to treat them the same, different? How does it go hanging out with these guys who are clearly so very friendly?
So PETA, ever since she was a heifer over there.
So PETA's this one over here, right?
That's the mom, yeah.
Why don't we go for a walk? We'll just
Sure.
walk and talk while you explain what's going on here.
So PETA here, when she was a milking cow, or actually before that, when she was still a heifer, we became good friends out in the pasture. And every time, PJ likes to steal the spotlight, sorry guys.
That's okay.
She would always come and look for me when I'd go into the pen to say hi. And so I fell in love with her, and she was just always willing to come and get some scratches. And so when it came time when the dairy was closing, I just couldn't see her personality go, like I said. And so she was already pregnant with her. She actually went to a dairy farm in Harrington to finish off milking and have her calf. And there she just caused all kinds of shenanigans.
Shenanigans?
Yes.
What is a cow shenanigan? I have to know.
So PETA would steal their milking towels and run away with them. I kid you not. And she would mess with the poor woman who'd be in there milking everybody. She'd play with her hair or take her towels out of her pockets and things like that. And so she was made quite the show over there during milking. And PJ here, ever since she was a heifer, she would actually run around with us like she was a dog. She would run around with our dogs and have a good old time. And we knew very early on that she would be just like PETA. And so we got really creative. She's PETA Junior.
That's how you got to do it sometimes.
Yes, but she is living up to the name. She also causes a lot of trouble. She used to eat all kinds of things in our garage, and she loves bananas. They both do. They love apples, and bananas are their favorites.
I did not know cows ate bananas. So let me ask you, for anybody that wants to come out and be a part of this program, get to see these great cow out here, which are just delightful. I got to be honest about that. How do they get involved? How do they go about doing that?
So on our website, heslepscoastalcattle.com, under the events tab, you can find all of the events that we are having here at the creamery. And so each event or adventure, we're saying, really it's an adventure because you never know how it's going to go. Every event is a little bit different. And so you get time to learn and interact with the cows hands-on and give them some treats with us. Sometimes we bring our calves as well, and so people love to snuggle up and take photos with them, all while you're learning. So you don't even realize you're learning all this information on, like Michael mentioned, where your food comes from, why cows are so important to our community. And in addition to that, we're doing school field trips as well. So any educators that would like to bring a group of students, we already have about 8 schools scheduled to come out this year, so we're really excited.
And let's bring Michael back in here for a quick second, because once you're done with the learning, there's ice cream. It is available. It is one of my favorite things. I drive by your guys' place every day on the way to work, and I stop more often than you might expect. So what can people expect on that side of things once they've come to hang out with the cows and they want to maybe get something to treat themselves to?
Yeah, we have, a whole lot of flavors over there. There's anything you can think of, we probably have it on our menu. It's all homemade right in the back there. So we really encourage everyone to come get a scoop and then enjoy it by the cows. So,
do you have a favorite, as somebody that's around it all the time?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite ice cream?
This is going to sound bad, but I just like vanilla. It's kind of plain.
That's okay.
Vanilla with rainbow sprinkles, you can't go wrong with that.
You know what? He spices it up a little bit with the rainbow sprinkles, though. We like it. Guys, thank you so much for having us in, hanging out with the cows a little bit. If you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, I really encourage you to get down here. They're friendly, they're fun, and you get a sweet treat when you're done. We've got more CoastLife coming up after the break.